Carl and Brendan here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And it's battle reaction time as Brendan's doing what he's done a couple of times now and decided to go for one of the longer tracks. 14 minutes and 13 seconds long to be correct. Portal to the goddamn blood dimension. I have never heard of this band, let alone the song.
Yeah, they're not a big band.
It's got 11 views.
It came to us via the website. You know, I kind of feel that's right for this band, though, that the idea of reviewing them just feels wrong. I don't know.
Really?
It's strange. You shouldn't view them. You should experience them. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm saying, to be honest with you. But like, I'm a big fan of this, and I'm putting it in here, I guess, because I know that it's risky because it's not necessarily my normal cup of tea. So I knew nothing about this band. I don't know a phenomenal amount now, because one of the problems when you're a band of such small size, I know that this is nothing you can say about this band makes any sense. That's the problem, right? I was going to say they're American, and I was like, oh yeah, but they're not really. So what I do know, or what I believe I know, because like I said, we're a small band, you know, information is not forthcoming. I mean, when we got sent over the thing, it was like, even the email that came over to us was like, here's the album, it's by like some guys called this, like, I think it's good. And you know, I was scouring the internet trying to fucking find out anything I could, like, to write something in the review for it. And what I found is obviously internet based, so I don't know how true or how factual everything that I know about them is. But what I believe I know is that Portal to Goddamn Blood Dimension started a while back and was actually one man, and it was just like a kind of moniker, an online moniker as such, that he was using to make maybe not exactly the right term, but it was kind of electronica music. So I don't know what changed. Time went by, and they became, I guess, a collective more than a band as such. So a person listened to it and liked it, there was some the music, and then they started writing like slam poetry alongside it. So they started adding some of that to it, and then somebody else liked it and added guitars, and then somebody else that liked it and joined the collective and added hardcore vocals, and it's like then a violinist from Japan or whatever liked it and sent over some strings lines to put to it, and it's kind of grown like that, like almost organically, which I think is kind of a cool thing. It's almost like a project, a global international project of musical artists from different parts of the world all trying to formulate. I guess I think they refer to it as like, it's not like a symphony or something like that, but like a piece of music rather than a song. You know, they're creating pieces as such. The album only has 2 tracks on it. This is the second track. The first song is called Want, and was the song I would have loved to have played, but that one is 26 minutes long. So I thought I would go into this. And the weird thing about it, when you listen to it as an album, you wouldn't necessarily, like, I didn't realize the 2 songs, they're not seamless, but because I became fully involved in the listening process of it, and I was enjoying every moment of it, that I didn't realize that when all of a sudden everything went off, that I'd actually fully listened to both songs back to back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And had almost kind of like consumed them as one. They are 2 individual tracks with common threads running around between them, which is why it kind of works. I would have personally preferred to play Want To, because I think that would have been the safer bet, because that's the a bit more twisty and turny and odd and a bit more heavy as well at times, but also, like, you know, it moves up and down through transitions, whereas this is, I guess, it's weird to call it the closer of an album because it's the second track on the album too. But this kind of comes at it, I guess, with a more sort of chilled out vibe. But I don't know, for me, like, this album, I bought it on vinyl to wait for like 2 months for it to arrive. They probably like had to quickly make one for me, you know, that sort of thing. Like, oh shit, dude, someone actually bought the fucking thing on vinyl. You know,
fantastic.
And yeah, I've fallen in love with it, man. I love it. I was the amount of times I listen to these songs, even people at work who don't listen to the music I do, because I was in a particularly grumpy mood today because I'm very, very tired. They said, why don't you put on that Ashes song? That always cheers you up.
Oh, very good.
All right then. So
Thank you.
Yeah. And it cheered me up. So yeah, I'm interested to see what your thoughts on it are. Anyway,
yeah. What obviously, it's terrible that this happens, but yeah, this actually was reviewed on our very own website. So I just quickly went to our website, put it in the search bar, and the album title was Rotten Fruit, ; Regular Orchard. which is annoying as fuck as a title. Really is. That semicolon bugs me, man. What the hell?
Yeah. It doesn't work well when you're putting them into this bloody trying to do the tags and stuff on an article either, because it keeps
I hate that. Maybe that's why they did it then. Released on vinyl 25th of March, but appears to have been out since 2021, where it was on cassette. And then there's a big old label collaboration here as well. No Funeral Records, I Corrupt Records, Ripcord Records, all good labels as well. Yeah. So you can see that. And obviously you gave it a 10 out of 10. And the user score has been given 10 out of 10 as well, which is very rare. So normally we get people fuck around with that part of the site and just give things low ratings for the hell of it. Okay, I definitely have listened to it. So I'm intrigued, to put it that way.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to pique your interest enough for this song to firstly win the battle, but to secondly get you to want to listen to the first song.
First one, yeah.
And then
it sounds like a good driving album, if that makes sense. Like my journey into work can take, depending on what station I'm at, anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes. And it's like sometimes I'll put an album on knowing that, all right, this album's 34 minutes long or 30 minutes long. That's the perfect length of what I need to do driving wise.
Yeah.
So it might be for that. All right, let's do this in 3, 2, 1, go.
Get comfy.
Yeah. Oh, that's super relaxing. It sounds like water dripping, like on a piano, like a string.
I love the sound of it. I genuinely don't 100% even know what it is, because sometimes I'm like, is that just a guitar string? But I'm not. I don't know what it is.
It's got a lot of reverb on it. Almost like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star melody, but not.
You have this in your headphones up loud, and it's kind of all you can hear. Like it's a wonderful sound.
Slow.
When you were still here, I made one of your mistakes. It's a great idea when you aren't thinking. We didn't really have anything to spare. Desperation fit like a pair of gloves. And I was a left hand wandering. Bragging and dialing it in. I'm used to standing on the other side of this street. And of course I know someone that lives here. Going down narrow hallways. Looking where my eyes don't belong. I was tied to the line. One eternity later. And we've reached the top. Trying to breathe easy. Trying to force this to be fun. But I hate these.
I knew it was coming, but I was not prepared for that. Just the extra thing come in.
And I hate this fucking band.
It made me laugh the first time I heard it. I was like, rude.
And we are trapped here for a while. And I'm spacing out.
You and me both, mate. Jesus.
Of course we have to repeat it. And I'm losing count.
It's very difficult to hear on the video here, but if you have your headphones
Oh,
in,
hey, what are you doing?
it's actually being repeated whispered before he says it.
Right.
Both embarrassed.
So it gets said in a whisper, and then he says it after.
And I sat there laughing about how old I'm getting. Plan B was falling through as I was making it. I assume you already know this. I figure they show you everything. I'm just trying to own up. When I went to our friend's house, I saw the first number under your name is the same as mine.
Heard that.
When you were still here. I made one of your mistakes.
Yeah, it's a bit clearer now.
Yeah.
It's a great idea when you aren't thinking. We didn't really have anything to spare. Desperation fit like a pair of gloves. And I was a left hand wandering. Bragging and dialing it in. I'm used to standing on the other side of the street. And of course I know someone that lives here. Going down narrow hallways. Looking where my eyes don't belong. I was tied to the line. One eternity later. We've reached the top. Trying to breathe easy. Trying to force this to be fun. But I hate these fucking people. And I hate this fucking band. And we are trapped here for a while. And I'm spacing out. Of course we have to repeat it.
Okay.
And they're repeating it.
I'm losing count.
Just do different. You have a voice. It's quite.
It's the guy that does the hardcore vocals on the other songs.
That makes sense. Yeah, you can kind of hear it. Anyway, shut up. I'm listening.
And I sat there laughing about how old I'm getting. Plan B was falling through as I was making it. I assume you already know this. I figure they show you everything.
You made it.
Has to end. Okay, so when albums get reviewed on the website, that isn't obviously by myself. It's so Brendan reviews an album, whatever. And often I'll see the score because I'll go to our Google document that holds our last scoring and stuff like that, and I'll see, oh, there's a new one in a 10 out of 10. Oh shit, Brendan gives something a 10 out of 10. That's really interesting and stuff like that. It doesn't prompt me to go listen to an album. It just doesn't, unfortunately, because ultimately I've got my own pile of shit to listen to. So it's rarely I can do that. Sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, try remember that. You know what? I'm gonna start fucking paying attention. I'm gonna have to start paying attention. And what I mean is, during that, I, while trying to pay attention, made sure I went to Apple Music and added that album to my my most recent played, so I don't forget it exists when I have to then focus on something new tomorrow and that kind of thing. It just almost doesn't seem fair. I'm actually incredibly jealous that you're the one that got this in the album, in the email.
I feel incredibly lucky. I genuinely do. I feel blessed to have accidentally stumbled across this because I don't think I would have found it any other way. That's the reality.
I think you're right. I think you're right, because ultimately, like, we've got our finger on the pulse to a certain degree, and if this was a sort of a band that was kind of being mentioned or rumored or talked about, or I feel like it would have come my way at least in some way, and so on. And here's the thing, like, this is the second track you said from the album, and you think potentially the first one's a better track and all that. That is fucking incredible then, because that might be the best thing I've heard all year. Like, I don't know how to even put this into words. I'm thinking as it's starting off, and you've got that slow, plinky kind of like almost water dripping on an instrument, and then they're adding what's very, very deep and post kind of like background, like to go alongside. And each step after a couple of minutes, it feels like they're adding, here's another part, and here's another. And he starts doing this, say, spoken word poetry-esque thing. I'm enthralled. I'm enthralled. Like, I'm not sitting here bored. I'm not sitting here playing on my phone. I'm not sitting here Googling stuff on the internet and trying to look like I'm paying attention. I am paying attention. I closed my eyes for about a minute to sort of see if I could then focus heavily on it, on the lyrical content more than anything else, because I'm very intrigued by what was being said. It has all the things of like, what I think is the most stunning thing is that, well, obviously, you could say, oh, it's a very depressing song, or it's designed to make you feel emotional and sad and stuff like that. I'm not so sure that's the singular goal of that track.
It's
and
meant
the
to be
particular,
both.
yeah,
That's the one thing, a bit of information that I did find,
Hmm.
actually, when it came across in the email, which it pretty much said that it was like, the goal of this music, the whole album together, is to, I guess, address realities, but offer a ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a little ray of light, sometimes just in a melody, sometimes just in a word, but whatever it might be, it's just trying to, this is reality. It's dark, it's hard, you're in the tunnel, but, you're working towards that, like that exit, And I think you feel it. I feel it.
It builds. Yeah. It's I don't know, is it trumpet or something, some sort of
there
instrument?
Are trumpets, there's this whole brass section. There's a violin, obviously, which is quite
of
prominent.
course.
And violin adds so much to this sort of music, to be honest with you, man. Like,
Oh,
it really
yeah.
does. Like, everyone should be chucking violins in wherever they can, in every song they have.
Yeah, absolutely. As it builds up near the end, and you get us two differing vocal styles as well, just sort of one slightly on a delayed 1 or 2 second delay, is incredible. It's I'd almost lost for words, because ultimately it's literally like, and it's no secret in these videos, I trust Brendan's opinion. If he says something's good, I know I'm at least likely to like it. It's never going to be like, oh no, that's shit, what planet are you on? But ultimately, it's very hard sometimes when you're a music reviewer, I think, as well, to take recommendations and suggestions, particularly because you're like, all right, yeah, I'll get to it, and you just can't get to it. So sometimes this battle reaction series is a great opportunity for me to stop and go, well, the only thing I'm focusing on is this. So yeah, keep this up, because that is literally one of the best things I've heard.
I'm really pleased you like it, because battles aside and all that, you know what it's like, man. If you listen to something that you truly love, like, you want the other people to hear it and say, yeah, no, I get what you're getting out of this.
Yeah. But how do you sell a track like this to someone?
No,
that's the problem. How do you sell it?
I know, that's why even like in the build up to sort of playing it here, I have to address the length, and I try and downplay the length of it by telling you how long the other one is, like that sort of thing. But I think you'd agree, it's not for everybody. It's hard to categorize. I don't think we necessarily need to categorize it, but it's alternative. I
Yeah.
think so. That's why it kind of ends up in our genre. And the first song, Want, has a bit more of a mix and heavier sections and that. So again, you can see why it falls in there. But I find the whole thing like hypnotic. I really do. I find it
Yes.
hypnotic. I listen to it and I kind of become almost like not completely, but like almost unaware of my surroundings, unaware of time, and I get lost in it. And it's subtle, isn't it? And that's what I love about it. I love how subtle it is. It doesn't try to ram anything down your face. It takes its time, but like without being boring. Like it's a love. It's just gentle, and yeah. And then it's over, and you're like, oh shit, what did I just experience? Like, I don't think
Yeah.
I've listened to this sort of music before. That's the thing. I don't know what it is. I just know it's special.
Yeah, like part of me wants to be like, well, I kind of get this because it's post and stuff like that to a certain degree. But I don't think that's quite like, it's one of those really annoying things. And often actually this comes up in interviews when I've been talking to some bands, particularly about some of the more different, and the recent ones as well at the time of recording, where it's talking about sort of, Harriet was a good example, where they're very uncategorizable. And obviously in rock and metal, in music full stop, we kind of love to pigeonhole because it makes it easy. Hey, they sound like this band or they sit in this camp. And it's like, yeah, but like that doesn't necessarily give you the full picture. And like if someone was to ask me, okay, well, all right, categorize that band. Immediately I get stuck on the word post.
Yeah,
but I'd immediately be going, but because obviously you say post to some people and they roll their fucking eyes. And it's like, no, but the best thing I can say is, you don't need this all the time. I don't think you need it all the time. We all love a headbanger. We all love just shit you can just rock out to and have great fun to it. But ultimately, the thing that keeps me coming back and the thing that makes this so enjoyable and the thing that I love to share with Brendan and my wife and others, my son and stuff, is simply this. I love music that makes you feel. I love music that makes you think, feel something, be it emotional, make you want to cry, make you want to laugh, make you want to smile. It does something that makes you laugh out loud. It does make you something where you want to tap a person on the shoulder and say, oh my God, like, what are you listening to? You should be listening to this. And I think that's one of the best summations ever. Like, I've always loved this kind of music, this kind of drawn out detail. And you used it best. You said it, what you said a minute ago. What I think is particularly spectacular is the fact that they are taking their time, because it would be so easy to go, all right, we don't need to drag that segment out for an extra minute. We can cut that and come into the next part quicker. And it's like, no, this is how we want our music to be. If you get bored, that's on you. But I'm not sure, like, modern attention spans are always going to be this problem. It's always a problem and stuff like that. And yeah, many people will gulp at the sight of a 14-minute track, let alone a 20-odd minute track and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, if you kind of like, if that 40 minutes doesn't feel like 40 minutes, like, stop and take the time, because I don't necessarily think this is a track you can listen to on a move. Of course you can, but man, like, it's a stop track. Stop and take the moment, I feel. It's spectacular. It's spectacular.
It's a weird thing, the whole attention span thing with people, though, isn't it? Because
it is.
People will be completely happy with a 10 tracks at 4 minutes each, but completely unhappy with a 2 tracks at 40 minutes. And it's like, well, you're committing the same amount of your personal time to that, you know. So, but I'm really glad you liked it. Like, battles aside and all that, I really, you know, I've been playing it to people, and everyone I've played it to has enjoyed it. That's the weird thing about it. But like, people, they're just people that are hearing it and not really that like kind of interested in, I guess, the deeper kind of meanings behind some of the songs. You know, it's like people, colleagues at work, and they're like, "Well, that sounds really nice," and that's kind of the end of the comment.
Yeah, you kind of you want that whole. I want to talk more about it.
I think I tried to explain to somebody else, because I was talking to them about genres and that a while ago, and they asked me about that. What sort of genre do you put this in? And I said the same. I said, I can't put this in a genre. To me, this is just the sort of stuff that gets uncovered accidentally in 200 years' time by an archaeologist, and they go, "Oh, that was Beethoven from the 21st century or the 22nd century. It must have been their version of a famous symphonic artist or you know, a composer." Because I think the other thing that like really kind of comes through clear for me was when I read the little snippets of information I have on them, which is that they don't class them as songs per se, more as like composed pieces.
Yeah.
And that makes perfect sense when you hear it, and it's like, yeah, I get what you're doing here. No one
And
told
if you-
Beethoven to cut his songs to 2 minutes today.
No, but if you said a lot of that stuff without any context, you just be like, oh man, they sound like a right pedantic bunch of
Yeah, I mean,
knobs.
that's what I'm aware when I'm telling you about it. At the
Yeah.
beginning, I'm like, oh, slam poetry. I'm like, electronica, you know, and you're thinking like, fuck me, I'm not selling this very well. 14 minutes long.
Yeah, it's off-putting stuff. So it's one of those where it's like ignore that and experience it. We might as well just stop the battle reaction series full stop now. Like there ain't never going to be a track that good again. Like my next one in this recording series, I've changed it because my next one I'm like, well, I can't follow that, so I'm gonna do something else completely.
I should have left it to last. Sorry.
That's all right. Listen, it's an amazing song. It's such an easy fucking win. It's one of those spectacular moments where I just get to walk away and go, that was fucking awesome. But you got any thoughts and you got any feelings? Do you share our love of that track? Or have you got negative thoughts? I'd love to know what those were. You know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl as well as Big Cartel where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?